how would you like to make your first million? And today we have a tech entrepreneur and a finance guy joining us in our Unstoppable podcast. So John is the founder and CEO of Charitable Impact, a platform that has facilitated over 1.6 billion in donation. Started his career in corporate finance. He went on to remain philanthropy as something accessible to even no one, just the wealthy. A two-time TEDx speaker we have today as guest. So John, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend tech entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
5 steps. Good. Well, thank you for having me. The first thing would be to identify a targetable audience, who you can get to know and understand the problems they have and the opportunities. In my own opinion, I think it's best if you care about this targetable audience, because then it can make the business more fun for you to develop and more missional. From there, you have to define and create or build a solution to the problem that you've identified. You need to understand and create the business model that you're going to apply to. And as you launch the business, it's really important, I think, to start smaller and test your solution along the way with real people. Get live market feedback so that you can move into the last step, which is, while you're building, while you're growing, you're also refining your model as you go.
Okay, do good and make money at the same time. This is the definitions of the Lily, my partner, and Marie Diamond. They have a movement that called Global Conscious Entrepreneur. And do you think, John, is it possible to make money and do good at the same time? We need more of this.
I do think it's possible. Yes, 100%.
So tell us, what has been your biggest challenge and how you overcome that challenge in this developing this business that actually not only makes money but also do good.
Well, there is so many challenges along the way, right? When you're building a business, some of them you can see coming, and other ones you can't. For the ones you can't see, you've just got to be ready to weather the storm. In a business like ours, I think the biggest problem, the macro level, is that it's a behavioral problem. It's a behavioral economic problem, which is that people say that they want to do good. They have all this intention to do good, but they don't actually do it all the time, right? And so we have interesting challenge with a certain segment of our donors to try get them more engaged with charitable giving, and that's something that was easy to anticipate but hard to solve as a problem.
Yeah, and then yeah, because people think that, okay, if you are recycling plastic, you are already a conscious entrepreneur, and then you're doing good for the planet, and that's it, which is a more 360 approach. When we're talking about do good and make money, that means a lot of things come into that equation, like look after the planet, donate to charity, get engaged with your community, hire people from more ethnic backgrounds. So it's more 360 approach. And some of the companies, they are on the level, I'm doing good. Yeah. I'm green and I'm this, but they want it just for the marketing. They want it just for the sticker to, and there are other ones that genuinely believe in that. A friend of mine, she has a top position in a major appliance company. Okay. And she's in charge of that division, and she moved. She spoke with that appliance company, which is huge, and said, "Look, we have to have our packaging more sustainable. okay, from all our appliance. And I know there's gonna be some cost, but this is what we should be doing. And they actually did it. And guess what happened? Out of the clients, no one even give them a clap because they were expecting it to do it for a long time. So they didn't even. They were. I mean, she was not expecting that, but the majority of the company, C-level and so on, they were like, wow, we're going to have a book, we're going to stretch this, but we're going to have a big booth on clients telling us how good we are and that we're doing the right thing. Nobody told them, nobody say anything. Basically, what it illustrates that they were way too late in taking this approach, and the clients are kind of expecting it. Like, guys, when are you doing this? Okay, it's kind of because the consumer are getting savvy, more smart, especially this new generation that they have tech, they have the mobile phone, they know everything, right? And they can literally dig a little bit more. They can actually find out if you for real of you just doing a marketing exercise. So John, you are in the middle of this hurricane. Okay, you are in kind of the center, trying to encourage creating a platform. You're not even a tech guy; you're a finance guy. So what are the, you see the challenge that was very easy to predict and difficult to deal with. So what message do you have for large companies out there, that there are also companies that say, "Look, I'm green," but and then when you look at the supply chain, it's not as clean as the credential of the company. So we need a more holistic approach to this topic, right? So what message do you have for those companies that they doing it, but they're not doing it for real? They're doing it just to look fake in front of the clients.
Well, that's a hard question. That's a hard question to answer. I mean, it's a good question. Yeah, I mean, referring to the idea of like greenwashing, right? Where you trying to put forward, for example, an environmental position that's not really rooted in reality. I mean, I guess I'd ask the companies to think about why they're doing it,
Mhm.
and and then to think around how much respect they have for their consumer. And if the consumer doesn't know and doesn't care, then maybe don't do it.
Mhm.
But to your point, Harry, the consumers are getting more knowledgeable as time changes, and I think it's probably realistic to say that if people have a choice between two products, and one is more environmentally and one is better for the environment than the other, that they're going to choose that product. And there's lots of
Mhm.
research that suggests that's true.
Not only
Um,
environmental, but also the company donates to charity and so on. It's a more 360 approach, right?
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the challenge for the companies in that regard is how do they get the message across to the consumer that they're actually um, doing that in a real way.
Mhm.
Particularly when
Mhm.
greenwashing has been such a big deal for the past
Mhm.
decade, right? At
Mhm.
least, if not more. So I think there's a lot of skeptical people out there right now kind of going, oh, well, is that a company who's actually doing good stuff, or is that a
Mhm.
company who's just saying they're doing good stuff?
Mhm.
So the challenge for the companies isn't just doing it, it's doing it and being understood to be doing it, in a way that's right enough or good
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm. So John, tell us, you're a finance guy anyway. So what happened if I have a company, people have a company, and they donate to charity? They don't have to pay tax on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it
Or
depends
they
what
pay,
country.
or they pay reduce. So let's say Canada, let's say United States.
Yeah, well, one of the two is they're both possible in Canada and the United States. So it depends a little bit on what country you're in. So first of all, charity is
Mhm.
usually it's a tax issue, so it's country by country. But
Mhm.
in places like Canada, where I am, and you make a donation and you get a receipt, and that tax sheet is like a credit that you can use to lower the amount of tax you pay. So
Lower
there
it,
is
lower it. That doesn't mean that you're gonna pay zero. It will lower your.
No, it's not. For example, in Canada, it's not possible to pay zero tax if you're
It will.
if you're making money, but you
Exactly.
can tax significantly, and so there is a financial incentive to make donations.
So why people don't
But
make more donations then? They don't know?
I
I
think
mean, it makes
because
sense to me, right? If I had to pay a certain amount of tax to the government, yeah, nothing against government, but some of them, they don't handle a budget so good, we can say, yeah, no mentioning any or anything, but you can at least, she's okay, you know what, 50-50. Sometimes the charities, they do groundwork and they make a huge impact. And why not encourage more people to donate? So if that's the case, why do you think that people don't donate more to charity?
I think the problem is education. In today's world, I think the problem is education, and people are raised. So they're when you think about your parents or your grandparents, I think there was a bit of a different sense of community, more religion, and those are important factors in terms of getting people to engage with charitable giving. So I think today people still have this generous spirit. They like the idea of being generous. They certainly want other people to be generous towards them, but doing it is harder than saying it, right? And so the financial incentive is real, but that impacts the wealthier demographic, right? So the people who are wealthier are looking for different ways to offset their tax. Many people choose to participate in philanthropy because they have their own idea of where they want money to go. Whereas when you pay your tax, the government just spends it wherever they want, right? So in philanthropy, you're still paying, something, but you get to say, oh, I'd like it to support a hospital or an educational
Exactly.
center,
You have a
or you have a say on where you get to go. And then people get engaged with that and they have fun with it. Um, so, so, but it's a big challenge as to why people don't do it. And it's part of the problem we had back but when Charitable Impact. And it's what makes us feel like we're a bit more of a missional business, because we're not just missional because we're doing stuff for charity and charity is supposedly good. We're missional because we're trying to
raise
increase access
awareness.
to, yeah, we're trying to increase access to participation in and the benefit people feel when they participate in charity.
Yeah, and then get the friction, the complexity, and this is where the tech elements into it. You share with me, Harry. I'm not a software developer. I'm an entrepreneur. It happened to be that the platform that we develop is tech, and now you are in the tech business. So my question to you is the following: we have 1 out of 5 millionaires that we interview in this podcast. They are tech entrepreneurs, right? And a lot of I have an opinion that it's easy to make money in tech. It's easy to be a millionaire doing tech. So you are a finance guy and a tech entrepreneur. So what message do you have for tech founders out there trying to get to product market fit, trying to get to the is it that easy? What are the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a tech entrepreneur when tech is not actually your, by the way, from the millionaires that we interview from the tech space, 80% are not tech. They are more marketing and sales orientated. Look, you finance. So only 20% are actually tech. And those ones that they are tech, they spend the whole time talking about sales, marketing, pro market fit, and things that are not even related with tech itself. So saying that, what are the good, the bad, the ugly on the tech business? Is that easy to become a tech millionaire, it's not? It's too big. Sometimes it's too good to be true. Yeah. So tell us your view on.
Well, I think if it was easy, well, it's not easy. And if it
Have
was
been
easy,
how has been for you?
yeah.
Tell us.
Well, I mean, it's hard. I'm it's what I say was that if it was to make $1 million, for example, being an entrepreneur, who wouldn't get in line and start, right? I mean, the failure rates in entrepreneurship are a lot higher than like the failure rates of signing up to work for someone else, for example.
And in tech,
So yeah,
tech
so
even worse. You can have a
yeah,
competitor,
so it's not easy.
in a minute.
Right. So yeah, you've got competition, you've got margin squeezing, you've got, people who always want for less. Um, you've got, real expenses, right? I mean, even with AI, there's all this talk about how AI is, going to do everything for us. Well, that might be true in the future, but today, you
For the
still need
moment, you need to
used
keep.
beings to do things,
That's funny.
it's expensive it's into alignment with a group of people, right? It's hard.
Hmm.
It's harder than it sounds to come to a shared understanding of a strategy and a plan. I mean, these are all doable things. Obviously, lots of people have success, but these are all harder than they seem, right?
Hmm.
So, I
Hmm.
mean, if you have kids,
It
for
sounds
example, think
beautiful.
about it. Yeah, yeah,
Sound
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I'm an
That's good.
entrepreneur. I fit my own calendar, and I go on holiday wherever I want. Yes, all that sounds brilliant. But
Yeah,
until you get there, good luck with that one. Yeah.
that's
A lot
right.
of hard
Yeah,
work.
I mean, yeah, if you succeed in any part of life, you can go on holiday when you want. There's lots of ways to succeed, not just being an entrepreneur, but getting to success, as an entrepreneur in particular is, a hard grind, right?
Hmm.
And you're responsible for everything.
And you guys, it sounds like you're never gonna finish because you are in your mission to raise awareness. And in that topic, that you're doing, is a lot of work need to be done, and it's again to educate these, especially the big companies, right? To park to idea and to support people on the ground doing amazing things. I think that the more we can do to enhance the leadership in the communities, on the better we society way faster coming from the bottom up than from the top bottom, and in my opinion. So how is really expensive is this process, and what you guys have in mind in order to speed as much as you can. By the way, we need you in London as well, United Kingdom. If you could
We
buy,
have,
if you buy, that
yeah,
would be amazing because we have similar challenge, and it's my understanding that we have the same rules that in Canada and United States, according to that, and yet we have the same problem.
yeah, the tax rules are a little bit different in the UK, but
Oh wow!
but you'll
Now
have the
you
same.
have something in
Yeah,
principle,
you have
right?
people and companies that want to, can get involved in doing good, help problems in society, and you have charities that take on that role and do that type of work. So,
Hmm.
something like charitable impact is definitely valuable in the UK, and we'd love
Hmm.
to come and. But first we have to continue working our product. My strategy is I would. There's always a debate between, product market fit and growth um
Hmm.
preferences to comfortable with what the product can, and for which targeted demographics, before you expand too much, because sales and
Hmm.
marketing is incredibly expensive,
Oh yeah.
right? And back to you, like, some products are expensive to develop, but then you don't have much competition, so they're less expensive. Other products, there's so much competition, it's cheaper to build, but then you have, so for the entrepreneur, it really depends on the type of person you are, where your interests are.
Hmm.
I'm a longer term minded entrepreneur. I'm a more missional
I
entrepreneur.
can tell.
Uh, I'm I'm interested in the problem I'm solving. I'm willing to be persistent, try to get there. That It's just different. One's not better than the other, but it's important as an entrepreneur to recognize who you are,
Hmm.
and to develop and to be involved in a company, your
Hmm.
culture.
Yeah, let's talk about the problem that you're solving, right? I think that one of the barriers to entry in this charity donation thing is that it takes time. It's difficult. You have to all these transactions. They are all kind of public records, and they are all auditable and things like that. So you guys, if you can, you have a framework that make all this process easy for companies. Maybe they can donate more. Maybe they don't donate more because the process to do so is maybe expenses for them. Maybe they have to stop one employee, send it to the bank to put the money, or send it to that charity, or give it a check, or whether when you bring a piece of technology and you remove the friction between the people that want to do the donation of charity, the company want to donate to charity, and actually, if it's as easy as buy something in Amazon, for example, I think we have more donations. So, what is this, and that is something that you guys are working on in order to make this friction easy, and take business very scalable. So you can it can be a worldwide success.
If you're talking about companies giving to charity in particular, I think the friction is related to whether when they give, anybody knows they did it. And if
Mhm.
no one knows they did it, then the
They don't
question
want
they should be at, then yeah, well, because the
to.
question they should be asking is, then should I be giving? Right? I mean, if you're entirely driven by just reducing poverty, then yeah, just give for that reason. But if you're as a company in particular, you find that they're more driven by, you know, are my employees more, happier to work with me when we're seen as a charitable company? Do my customers want to buy my product more because we're a charitable company? And so the friction for companies isn't making the donation. Donations are easy to make.
Mm,
It's the friction is,
the
does
education.
anyone know and does anyone care? And as a result, how do I get the return on investment from my giving, or what I call your return on generosity?
Yeah.
And companies struggle with that.
Well,
There's solutions to that.
they shouldn't lazy math. Yeah, I'll be done um a lot of work in this area, right? And this is something news that we have for our donors for charity, right? If they want to assess the return on their investment. Okay, a few things that they should know. Number one, yeah, I there are have research done that employees, right, prefer to get paid less if they are working in the company that donates to charity, that have social responsibility. That I'm not saying that pay less to your employees, but all of you that want to make some numbers and they want to do returns. So let me give you some ideas for you to make some numbers. So they prefer to get paid less if they are involved in a company that donate to charity, have social responsibility, look after the environment, hire people from all areas, right? Then customer retention, right? Those companies that are spending millions in marketing and TV advertising and all that. Well, turns out that you have uh, a lot of customer retention and a lot of customer acquisition for free when your company values align with social responsibility. Basically, you can lower your client cost of client acquisition huge because your same clients will to other that align with those values. Look, these companies they have a great product, but also they're doing this community that helping out, and people design. I always said in London when a musician is playing the music, I always give them money. Why? Well, I want this guy to keep playing there, right? So I'm supporting. So you put your money where you want the people to keep playing the music. So the consumer, again, they're getting very savvy and they say, you know what? I have my dollar. I rather give it to this company that align with something that is good for the planet, good for the people, communities, right? And choose. So when you take some numbers, you save a lot of money in customer acquisition. You save a lot of money in customer retention. You save a lot of money in culture with work, right? How you bring that culture, and with that culture come this customer. And on top of that, if you genuinely, okay, believe in that, and this is part of your missions, your value, and you keep the communication channel in the social media about what you're genuinely doing, you will be shocked how the growth that you will have in your company. So, like with John, is it's actually possible to do good and make money, and they don't care because they don't see a return on investment, and that's why John a lot of education needs to go to the equation. Less so we can open a conversation. Okay, we're not saying that you pay less to your employees. We're not saying that you use this as marketing strategy to lower your client acquisition. We're not saying that, but hey, if you start to move toward that direction, you will be surprised how everybody will be happy. Why do you think that this lack of knowledge? I'll personally find out, yeah, because I've been involved in companies. I always talk about this topic about social responsibility and everything, and it's like I'm speaking Chinese with everybody. And this is we do have to keep raising awareness. Why do you think that we have so little people who actually cares?
Well, I everything you talked about
Public
true to
knowledge.
my knowledge. Yeah,
Public
yeah. I
knowledge.
mean, yeah. So,
What do you think? They don't believe it's true?
no, I think that no, they believe it's true. I think they don't know how to achieve it
I get
in
it.
a way,
Because they
in a
don't
way
believe it.
that
They don't genuinely believe it, right?
yeah, yeah.
They
Well,
are scared.
possibly, or they believe it,
Legacy.
but they don't know how to get there, right? So, for
Yeah, yeah,
example,
yeah. Okay.
if you're a company, you just write a check to a charity. How are your employees going to know? And if you problem of how they know, how are you going to solve the problem of getting all your different employees to care about the fact that you sent money to that charity? Because maybe you sent money to a poverty charity when some of your employees, the environment, or they care about health, or they care about other things. So the
Mm.
difficulty in charity is that, you know, we can all say we care, but the reality is that we care about different things. Oh, my grandma
And
had
how we
cancer. My
align.
my parents grew up poor. Because of the scholarship.
Mhm.
So the problem is, I think for companies in particular, is to, and this is partly the focus of the tools that we're currently building at Charitable Impact, but how
Wow,
to
very
build
good.
so that communities like a company can actually give in a way that achieves the return on investment from giving goals of the company, um, through engaging the
Hmm.
customers and or the employees
And the
in what they
employees.
care
Wow,
about.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah, because yes, let's face it. These large companies, even if they want to donate, there is a lot of legacy in terms of uh, not only people but also softwares and systems and procedures been there for so many years that now you go there and say, hey, we are going to start to do this something new, and everybody will be, what? No way, we're not changing anything here. And then you have to, and now you bring a new piece of software. So now they have this legacy of system and software, but also the legacy of people that need to have an education. Saying we moving in a society and we're in business. Business change, right? Maybe the value of your grandfather when I started that business, well, after your dad, now you're the son. Well, the world have changed, and the company needs to, in order to keep moving, have to align with the new public demands and consumer demands. And this is actually a demand for the consumer. Have more and more and more. The consumer want to see. They don't want to buy a product from a company because they want the product. They are looking very carefully in a lot of these issues, and it's something that will regulate. It will self-regulate itself. So, yeah, that make easy the process. Like for example, the maybe a group of choose, so the employees can choose why, like a pool or something, where they want to donate. That will get them engaged. Okay, will be kind of more democratic. The company will function, right? And it's not gonna be from top to bottom, like the CEO say, well, I'm gonna donate to the charity and that's it, right? To get rid of the problem. You can create a whole movement within the company, and now all the employees are involved and everybody have participation or have a say where the money goes that the company that they work for wants to support. and make a huge improvement in the culture that definitely will reflect in the clients and in the loyalty of the clients. Because if I if I selling you a boat and one is socially responsible, the other one no. Why? What, you just don't care? You're gonna choose any, or you're gonna choose a pro that, wow, you say at least they're they're doing something good for the people. It's about caring about all the people. And this selfish entrepreneurial way, I think that this was very good in the 50s. See, whether now proud of new generation, they are so smart and so socially driven. The young people now, yeah, they are tech, they have the mobile phone, and they are so, but they are very how conscious they are of those items or for all those subjects about charity. So, how do you see the future, John? How do you see yourself in this future? And how long, in your opinion, is the path that we still need to walk and raise awareness? From here, I'm rooting for you, because from this podcast, we want not all entrepreneurs to be healthy, wealthy, and happy, but we want everybody to do good and make money at the same time. Okay, so we're rooting for you from this podcast on Unstoppable, 100%. So, how much longer do you think is gonna be, and harder do you think is gonna be the path to raise more awareness and to bring a more large companies or companies as possible in this way of uh, doing making money or being in business?
Well, I think with well-built tools, which is easier to say than to do, the in the corporate world, I think the next 20 to 25 years, you will see you have the opportunity to create an environment where they understand that they can get a return by investing and giving. Okay, so I think that there's a not that it stops there, but I think that there's a opportunity to a generational at some level opportunity to change how corporations do philanthropy, how they engage with giving, and how they think about it. And that opportunity, saying sort of, I think in the next 20 years, like in my entrepreneurial lifetime, that can be achieved, it can be made in the world.
Mm.
With regard to individual people who are actually more important to the philanthropy world than companies are, um, I think that's an ongoing problem that will never go away. But there's a relationship between the two because, if you go back 50 years, companies didn't have much, if any, effect on individuals getting involved with and giving. Well, they didn't have much effect. Today, I think companies are going to have to play a much stronger role because our communities are organized differently, and there's more corporate focus today than there was back then.
Mm.
So I think there's a relationship between those two things, and I certainly am willing to take an entrepreneurial risk on linking those two things, and instead of someone to sell to, which they are, it's seeing a company as a community of people that the company culture shape getting the individual, whether it's an employee or a customer, engaged in giving. And that's what I think special about companies in particular, and the lens that Charitable Impact takes on companies. We don't just see them as a target market. We actually see them as a really important player in trying to solve the problem we're focused on, which is increasing access to and participation in giving.
Like I have this. I remember my first business. What we have a property business we wanted to sell with 5 million, and I remember that when we see the property, all the houses, okay, and I remember the bill of electricity. It was coming so high from the whole houses, okay, in London, and I say, okay, you know what? Let's do something. You're gonna have energy saving. I didn't see, right, reasonable or waste, because this waste of energy, and you see You have a lot of what it takes to produce that energy, okay? And it was another solution in the market. I remember in the company, some people would tell me, Harry, but this is going to be a lot of money. So basically, I think we ship from China half a container of, and we place them in every single room, every single common area of the properties, and you won't. The new lights that we brought, those ones that consume a lot, they were yellow and didn't have so much lighting. The new ones that we brought, they were amazing. They came, they were white, and it was reducing the consumption, from 60, 80 watts, 100 watts. Those ones that we brought, they were consuming 9, 10, 11. So when you multiply this, half a container, and it's something that monthly keep going, right? This was my first, my first aha moment that if you're open to embrace something, you might have a little bit of a stretch at the beginning and a little bit of resistance, but if you manage to break that, this little bit of legacy, this, come on, hey, let's learn about this, let's do it little by little, let's do this. What you're gonna find on the other side is something that you were not expecting, was not expecting that we're gonna save so much money as we did. And we definitely was not expecting that everybody would be actually way happier with the new solution that we brought, because they were white and they were for them. The rooms that we rented used to be for students, so they need more light. So that's my first experience. I think that was like 15 years ago, and so I think that when you're an entrepreneur and that click, and you align this path of do good and make money at the same time, you know that it's possible because you've done it, and more actively you will look in what's going to be the other possibility, what's going to be the other chance where I can do good and make money at the same time. And I have colleagues, okay, I have donated to charity, right? Because they generally believe this. And guess what happened? They had done an event, and they have named them in the material and everything, asking for anything, and they get come more clients out of the blue, without even ask for it, right? And so when you are in giving, I always say that when you give from genuinely, you receive 10 times more in kind, in another kind of energy, but some financial surprise might also come to you. However, if you are doing it just you don't generally believe in it, and you're doing it just as a marketing exercise, as to you have to do it because your clients are waiting for it, and for a long time, and if you don't do it, they're gonna go and buy somebody else's pros and things like this. It's gonna be a lot of friction. It's a process that I did. I was not like that. My first path in good and make money thing, and I have a breakthrough. And since then, I love it. And every time that I have a chance, I'll do something. Last time we give away a lot of food in Peru in COVID, and we have done amazing things over there with in different countries. Organized charity concerts, also music concerts. Every time that I have a chance, that something comes to the space that open this opportunity, I always take in all of them, because I know that surprise is always coming that you're not even expecting. Yeah, it happen all the time. I will keep happening. So I actually looking forward. Sometime there is a chance, and I know that you should do it. So, John, I'm very proud of you. So if somebody want to know more about what you guys are doing, about the movement, they want to get involved, they want to support you, they want to root for you, same like I'm doing, or some big partners, strategic partners, how people can find you, how this process works.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing, given your global audience, is to find us on social media. So, like on Instagram at We Are Charitable on LinkedIn and places like that. And you can find us at charitableimpact.com online.
Very good. John, thank you so much. That has been fantastic. Like I said, I'm very proud of the job you're doing, and we need more. We need more people out there. Okay, so we to create a new movement. To this is the time that we live in now, and exactly like you said, between 15 years to 20 years, it doesn't matter if you like it or you don't like it. If you don't do it, you won't have clients. You won't be able to stay in business. So from this broadcast, we are encourage you to start earlier because it's coming to you. It's coming to you because the client, the cost consumers are getting really savvy. Not only that, in the way you eat, in the way that they consume products and things like that, and what's gonna happen with what is happening with the money. They're all very aware of that, and they are always looking for them. So, John, thank you so much. And for all of you following the podcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable. How brave entrepreneur like John pray that will achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.